Hi, it's Sarah Jane from Access Your True Nature. And I want to talk to you today about why perfectionism is the killer of your life and what to do about it. Because my work is based on healing trauma and returning to trust. And I know with my own struggles with perfectionism and its associate, that beautiful place called unreadiness, the fear to move, it's something that I'm a master practitioner of. I practice meeting my mind there and then going deeper down, deep down to my gut knowing, to my heart, and practicing in the practitionering of it to stay present and feel everything, because you can't heal until you feel. And you have to feel everything and appreciate what it is. It is what it is. And this perfectionism crap has been there my entire life. Through all my relationships, including my business projects, my work of art, my mistakes, my relationship errors, my mistakes, taking things and trying them on and thinking, oh crap, not my best choice. And through pretty much every relationship worth my heart and time's investment. And the idea of not being and not having enough has often stopped me from not doing enough, for not striving for better, to be better than I was the day before. And this is the work of returning to trust. This is the trust process that I teach. And this is where most people come to me, because they've tried every Western modality, every Eastern modality. They have tried every quick fix, one step, 12-step process out there. And even though it works for a little bit, they always go back. They always go back to things the way that they were, because they're not getting to the root cause of why they feel that they're not enough in the first place. And this is where I say over and over again, trust me. Trust yourself. Trust that you're enough. You're enough for your body. You're enough for your life. You're enough for your relationships. You're enough for your animals. And you're enough for your business. Trust me on that one. Because without trust, nothing works. And I know, because I often wish, right? Hopes and dreams are a very real thing, and I often have the regret, and I often go to blame, and I often go to shame, because I'm a living work in progress to live better, to live into my legacy. And I want that for you, because oftentimes when we wish you could desire back in space and time, literally rewind the tape and get some kind of reimbursement in all the beauty and the wonder and all the chances, all the good that you've missed while you're waiting for perfect to arrive. Now is the time. And I want you to get that, because perfectionism always leads to unreadiness. It always leads to the place that just accentuates and amplifies the fact that you think you're not enough, that you're not perfect yet. And it's very paralyzing. It's stagnation. It's the resistance. It's going against your true nature. And they become the biggest obstacles in our creative breakthroughs, in our living legacy. They're the greatest enemies of our growth. And not just in one aspect, because how you do anything is how you do everything. So perfectionism is completely opposed to you living in your true nature, living in the flow, in the feeding cycle of nature, in the natural laws of chaos, of compensation, of amplification, of expansion. And here's the thing, perfection doesn't let you even start. It doesn't even give you a chance. It says goodbye imagination, goodbye initiation, goodbye excitement, goodbye adventure. And it doesn't let you appreciate how far you've come in your PhD of living this big, messy experiment called your life. It takes all reason and justification for you to appreciate and have gratitude and tread kindly and gently on yourself for just how much you have grown. And the worst part for me is that it doesn't let you appreciate how far you've come. That's goodbye confidence, goodbye clarity, hello overwhelm, hello doubt, hello cynic, hello skeptic, hello cruel world. And it blocks life flow in your lungs, in your issues, in your tissues, You have to feel in order to heal, because if you don't, it cancels out your joy. It postpones your aliveness. It sucks your desire dry, and it drags you around like a puppet behind a freaking car going at 250 kilometers an hour. From regrets about the past, from the could-haves, the should-haves, the would-haves, if only I, all that crap, to worries about the future and what if the poor me that pathologizes the fact that you're the walking dead. And it's time to come alive. The world needs you and what only you have to give. So just know that unreadiness comes after perfectionism. I'm not ready. I'm waiting. You're stuck in the waiting room of your life. And unreadiness reminds you that it's going to seal the deal, and it's going to put an end to your inspired living. It's going to put an end to you taking a step and being brave. And the irony is that just as illusion of perfection exists, the illusion of ready doesn't exist either. Ready is not something that you're ever going to arrive at. You're never going to be ready. So I always say you've got to just take the leap of faith, trust in yourself, trust in God, have faith, trust in life, trust in something greater than you, because you're constantly moving and expanding and evolving. That is what it means to live out loud, to be human and have this human experience. You, the being, knows you've done this a million gazillion times over, but you chose to have this body at this time and show up and contribute to making the world a better place than you found it. And you can't do that if you're waiting. This is the waiting games instead of playing the game of life. And that game of life it demands of you to commit physically, emotionally, mentally, and financially, to get resourceful and use your resources from an aligned place where your heart knows like it knows and your gut trusts that you've got this, that you're the one that's going to create the secure attachment. Because ready is not something you're ever going to arrive at. You're a verb. You are a constant love affair of trusting and falling down and loving your bruises and licking your wounds and getting up, because your being is always becoming. And your body needs the time and the honoring and the kindness that you would give to a baby that can't take care of itself, to say, I'm with you, I've got you, taking responsibility. Because being ready for a situation or a project or a person or a thing to show up implies always taking what seems like a first step. But in reality, it's an ongoing evolution of many steps that came before today, that came before this place you find yourself in right now. And I get it. I'm not saying that this is all sunshine and rainbows and unicorns and how does it get better than that. I'm not saying bury your head in the sand. I'm saying be really awake and really arrive at the place of knowing that you can impact the future of us as a species, as humanity, and to start creating choices from empowered choice, from a place of how can I not do this thing even though I'm afraid. So starting before you're ready is not just a humble and courageous act, because it makes you face and accept your inadequacy and your fears and your imperfections, and you do it anyway. You use your creativity as this beautiful bridge from all you are to all you're willing to become, because your soul knew what you came here to do. And you just got to allow your body to have that experience and slow down, go at your body's pace, because you'll never be more ready for anything than you are in this second. You are reborn every single day. We say goodbye to the sun and hello to the moon. That's the only predictability that we have. And you have to create your own safety by trusting that you're enough. Stop aiming for something that is impossible. The fantasies and the insanities and the assigns and the assignations that you were programmed to believe, and undo it all. Just undo it all, because there's no greater act of creative rebellion and no bigger freaking fuck you to middle finger to stagnation and the status quo, that beginning whatever you're afraid of or feel unready for, you have to do it anyway. It's your calling and you have to do it right now. You have to take inspired action. So you have to get really, really quiet. Use the trust process to create a space of no thinking, just beautiful, blank, white space for you to write upon. And write your life as if it means something, because you mean everything. Not just to the future of the future generations that you will be the ancestors for, but for the ancestors that went before you, so that you had this opportunity and used it well to make life come alive, to create a sustainable, generative, beautiful planet of compassion built on loving whatever arises beyond judgment, beyond your projection or your hurt or your fear or your old stories. Let the old stories die away, because there's so much power and honesty and vulnerability and integrity in being a beginner, having a beginner's mind. And all we'll ever do in this life is keep beginning. But we don't have to keep going back. That's the beauty of the trust process. You go into it, you use it, you apply it, and the next time you drop into that, you keep expanding out. There's no one step forward, two steps back. So let's reclaim our right to be imperfect, shall we? Let's reclaim the right to release all the blocks that keep us from living into better, to keep ourselves aligned to our North Star, to the one that knows, the wise woman that knows you came here to make a difference because you are enough. Trust that you're enough. And I challenge you, I truly challenge you, and as I challenge myself, to make a beautiful mess. Have a messy day. And out of your day, learn and grow and expand and come back to appreciation. Use exactly what you're usually regard as not enoughness, and turn it around into the strength, right? The things that you think are disabilities, what if you could actually claim and own and acknowledge that they are your greatest capacities? They're what make you unique. They're there for you to trust that you already have what you need to take the first step into faith towards whatever you both love and fear. They're there to take you toward a truth that you can no longer ignore or postpone or conceal or resist or spiritually bypass. So look your imperfections in the eye today, without cringing, without making them wrong. And instead of missing what you're not, the mistakes that you think you are, take back the trust. Take back what you do know, not what you don't have yet, and just surrender and let go to your perceived lacks and your supposed gains and paradoxes, and just embrace in this beautiful synergy, this mixing up of light and darkness in your soul. Because for every missing piece or imperfect piece that you think you don't have or don't know, there is a greater source of power waiting to be used. It's your potency. It's been within you from the day that you chose to be here, and it's waiting for you to use it, and use it well, and with integrity and with attunement to your soul. It's the dance. And it's an irresistible desire that requires some reverence and some appreciation, that you embrace it. It's a story to be trusted and loved and lived out loud now. And you are, and you always have been, and you will always be enough. to truly love beyond conditions, which is all based on control and things you have no control over, well, we just haven't got the faculty yet. So we love others and we trust them less because it's always conditional. It's always about the I and my needs and my pretenses to love from attachment. And so we fall into grief and the layers and layers and layers of them that come up when we allow ourselves to fall. So when we release the ego of the you or the I in the we that needs to control and objectify, the need for the bullshit perfectionism and the waiting game stops. So please take your rights back and start from ground zero instead of contributing to the violence that brings in the grieving and the separation sickness that's killing your life and killing the world and killing all the joy that's freely available to you. You just can't see it because you're so stuck in the old stories. Let the old stories die, because life is this eternal dance between the knowing and the not knowing, between the possessing and the complete non-possession. It's non-attachment. It's the space, that luminal space between the doing and the non-doing. And pain is the greatest teacher. We can avoid it and it will hurt even more. So it's kind of narcissistic to think that we can raise another being, a child, a dog, a cat, whatever it is for you. We have to raise ourselves first. We have to be the mother and the father and the secure space for our child parts before we can even begin to contribute back to another being. And then it's the grief. The grief has to come in one of the stages instead of feeling the hurt of falling on your face over and over again. It's brain chemistry to be present to your now that you have brought into your own existence through cause and effect. So engage in the full-on present moment so that you can stay on course with authenticity rather than live like a crazy person. Just this is the insane asylum we're all committed to and nobody knows it. It's called planet Earth and it's our job, it's our responsibility to create security and safety for ourselves from trusting that we have everything that we need. We came in equipped to handle the obstacles are the way. Feel so that you can heal. Please. And then, as Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, the woman that defined the grieving process on death and dying, 3 years old, when I was 3 years old, that there is a sequence of stages. We have to go through the denial, the anger, the bargaining, the depression, and the acceptance, but there's no perfectionism in how it shows up. There is nothing but the waiting room here. And it's an incredible system which provides assistance during those initial phases of grief and loss. But we need to encourage people to live fully. And this is what I do in the trust process and in my work with restoring a nervous system that's fried or has been switched on in hypervigilance because of adverse childhood experience or past life experience or ancestral trauma or inherited trauma or cultural trauma for that matter. And this is where I want to encourage you to live fully during your process of discovering your new identity because you felt into grief, because you fell into loss. And out of that, there's a gift always. But when we repeat and review this process of bargaining and denying and grieving over and over again, it's like a stuck record. It's the pattern repeat. And instead of taking yourself forward into your journey of healing and finding out what makes you come alive again, we have to allow our bodies to stay in the waiting room and listen to what your body needs. And this is the mental space that we inhabit, where we're going into perfectionism and all the addictions to the story, waiting for time to heal our wounds. Time does not heal, it conceals. And the longer we wait, the longer we stay in that space, the more our minds reenact every single thing. I know I played that story over and over again when I had a brain tumor, when I wanted to take my life, when I lost everything, when I went into bankruptcy, when I left my narcissistic husband. The abuse didn't stop, it amplified. And sometimes we need that to come up. We need to really amplify the pain and stay with it in the grief to change the story. To change the story in our brains on a physical and a neurological level. Because our brain chemistry is altered by the stories we repeat to ourselves over and over again and to other people. So please know that you're not alone. And if you're feeling like right now that there is no other choice except to choose death and dying, whether that's physically or emotionally, letting someone go, having the death in a relationship, or giving up to some chronic disease that your body's just said, hey, you're out of ease and this is your wake-up call, please get support. Allow the life to flow through you again, because you can't do it on your own. You need the support of the tribe. You need somebody to hold that space for you while you're in the waiting room. And I would be honored to hold that space for you, because perfectionism and unreadiness will always tell you that you can't do it. And I'm here to tell you, you can. Oh yes, you can. And you don't have to do it on your own. So know that you're loved. Trust that you're enough. And reach out and touch someone. Reach out and leave your comment below and let me know how this daily dose of True Nature Medicine touched you, and how you're going to take one step in returning to trust. Trusting yourself, trusting somebody else, trusting in life, trusting in your animals, that you're enough. Trusting in God, the divine, that the universe has your back. And all you have to do is notice when you need to ask and be willing to receive, and when you need to push pause in that waiting room and listen and tend to your inner landscape from a place of love and compassion, and tread gently on yourself. So please share this video if you found it helpful with anyone that you know may be looking for it. And for more videos and resources, please subscribe or hop over to Access Your True Nature and follow me on Facebook. I do lives every couple of days. And they're designed to just give you daily boosts of trust and faith, so that you can deepen into that all of life is here to support you, and it can be with ease and grace and glory. All right, lots of love. Mwah.